For the most part, the gym leaders from the first 2 generations are all pretty iconic. However, that's not to say that some don't get far less credit than the others, and I'd say that's definitely the case with today's trainer. Whether it's because he's one of the earlier gym leaders in his respective games, his lore is kind of absent relative to others, or because the type of Pokemon that he uses are known to not be too great competitively, who knows? But as is the goal of this series, let's resolve this underrated status. Bugsy, the Bug-type gym leader of the Azalea Town Gym in the Johto region. Bugsy's official title is the Walking Bug-type Pokemon Encyclopedia, and this seems to be for good reason. While other gym leaders often specialize in a given type out of favoritism, Bugsy specializes in the bug type out of raw expertise and knowledge. He not only has experience in training and using them in battle, but he also studies them meticulously. In fact, he's so knowledgeable that he was the one who discovered the move Fury Cutter in the first place. Funnily enough, when we play through the Johto games, we might wonder why Bugsy doesn't participate in the bug catching contest at the national park. As it turns out, Bugsy elects not to participate in the contest because he's won it too many times. Typically, when there's a character that's incredibly smart, they tend to also be quite arrogant. But in Bugsy's case, this isn't actually true. He expresses admiration for people like Professor Elm and Professor Oak, who are able to study all the different types of Pokemon, and wonders how they do it. When he loses to the player, he admits that his research on bug Pokemon isn't complete, and even expresses gratitude that the battle helped him to realize that. In recognizing that he doesn't know everything, he also travels to different regions to continue learning. Given that he's such an expert in bug Pokemon and that he had a scaled down team the first time we saw him due to how few badges we have, it's evident that Bugsy is probably much stronger than we might have thought. But how strong is he really? It's time to find out how powerful the Walking Bug Encyclopedia really is by looking at all of his appearances in the main series games to construct his best possible team. It's time to find out his true power. The first time we can battle Bugsy is of course in the Generation 2 games Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, where he serves as the gym leader of the Azalea Town Gym and is the second gym leader we're intended to face. After making our way through his gym, Bugsy claims that he never loses when it comes to bug Pokemon and that he aspires to be the main authority on them before challenging us to battle. Bugsy kind of psychs us out at the beginning. He starts off with a level 14 Metapod and a level 14 Kakuna, which are pretty easy to take care of despite their relatively high levels at this point in the game. But then, out of nowhere, he sends in a level 16 Scyther, and this thing proves to be quite a challenge. In Gen 2, Fury Cutter actually increases in power every time it's used, so it's key to take this thing out as soon as possible. The next time we encounter Bugsy occurs in the Gold and Silver remakes Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where, unlike the originals, he can actually be battled on 2 separate occasions to give us a better idea of his true strength as a trainer. The first battle occurs under similar circumstances as in the originals, where we challenge him for the Hive Badge, although it is a bit tougher for quite a few reasons. Bugsy has the same 3 Pokemon in a different order, but now all of them are 1 level higher, and his Scyther has some major buffs. First of all, it now has the much more powerful U-turn move instead of Fury Cutter. It also holds a Citrus Berry now, meaning it can restore its health. Finally, it has the Technician ability, meaning its quick attack move is powered up substantially. However, Bugsy can also now be rematched once the player obtains all 16 badges, where he's become far more powerful and has 5 new additions to his team. To organize a rematch, the player actually has to travel outside of Bugsy's home region to Viridian Forest in Kanto, where it turns out Bugsy is studying Kanto's bug Pokemon. When he's talked to, he'll give the player his phone number and can be called on Thursday afternoons to organize a rematch at the Fighting Dojo in Saffron City. In this rematch, Bugsy starts off with his now level 56 Scizor, followed by a new level 48 Shedinja, a level 52 Yanmega, a level 55 Pinsir, a level 54 Heracross, and a level 52 Vespiquen, all with some great movesets too. The final time we can battle Bugsy occurs in Gen 5's Black 2 and White 2, where he participates in the Pokemon World Tournament. Bugsy can be found battling in 3 different tournament styles in which he rotates between 2 different teams of 6. Keep in mind that the World Tournament automatically sets all Pokemon to level 50, but we can get a good idea of new additions to his collection since the events of Gen 4 and how competitively viable his Pokemon have become. As with all trainers in the tournament, he also has some highly competitively viable movesets and items on his Pokemon, even better than his Heart Gold and Soul Silver rematch setups. In the Johto Leaders Tournament, Bugsy has 2 new additions to his collection. He starts off with his Scizor, followed by a brand new Shuckle, his Heracross, Pinsir, a brand new Forretress, and his Yanmega. In the Type Expert and World Leaders Tournaments, Bugsy has 1 more new addition. He He has his Scizor, Shuckle, Heracross, Pinsir, a brand new Armaldo, and his Yanmega. Although this is his last appearance in the main series games, there is something that we should make note of. Remember that Bugsy had a Metapod and Kakuna in our gym challenges with him, so we can probably assume that by the events of Gen 5, he also has a Butterfree and Beedrill. And the latter is actually sort of confirmed by the Pokemon Masters game, which expands upon the main series lore. In this game, Bugsy actually has access to a Mega Beedrill. Given that this aligns with the Kakuna that he had, Masters is in line with the main series lore, it makes sense that we didn't see Beedrill in Gen 5 since Mega Evolution wasn't yet a thing, and Beedrill is kind of bad without it, and Bugsy is such an extreme bug expert that we'd assume he'd have sought to use Bug-type Mega Evolution. I don't think it's a stretch to actually think that he has this Mega Beedrill in canon. Don't worry though, we'll have an alternate for Bugsy's best team if you don't believe this to be true, though I think there is a pretty solid case to be made for it. It's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Using all of his appearances in the main series games, let's construct Bugsy's best possible team. The number 1 pick for Bugsy's best team is going to go to his Beedrill, which we see as a Kakuna in Gen 2, and which even has the possibility to Mega Evolve in Masters. We don't know exactly what level this thing is at, however he of course had it way back when he had his Scyther in Gen 2, so we could probably assume it's around the same level at level 56, especially since he of course has forged the bond that's necessary to Mega Evolve it. In the full Pokédex Gen 7 metagame, Mega Beedrill is currently in the UU tier, with absolutely insane attack and speed stats along with potential moves like Stab U-Turn, Stab Poison Jab, Knock Off to get rid of opponents' items, and Drill Run for coverage. Mega Beedrill is one of the most terrifying sweepers in the entire game and starts this team off really well. The second spot on Bugsy's best team is going to go to his signature Scizor from his Heart Gold and Soul Silver Fighting Dojo rematch battle, in which it's at level 56. Scizor is currently also in the UU tier and has some great base stats with decent defenses and a massive attack stat, with moves that Bugsy has on it like Stab U-Turn, Stab X Scizor, Stab Technician Priority Bullet Punch, Swords Dance to increase its already insane attack, and Superpower, Aerial Ace, and Acrobatics for coverage. Scizor is a bulky yet powerful tank that just has to watch out for fire types. The third pick is going to go to Bugsy's Heracross, also from his Heart Gold and Soul Silver rematch team, in which it's at level 54. Heracross is currently in the RUBL tier, meaning it's above the RU tier but doesn't quite make the UU tier by usage. Heracross's base stats are kind of reminiscent of Scizor's, meaning it's a tanky attacker. The main thing is that Heracross has the fighting type, which really helps out with opposing steel types, which would otherwise wall this team pretty well. With insane moves like Stab Megahorn, Stab Close Combat, Swords Dance, and Stone Edge for coverage, Heracross is a great choice, and its 4x flying weakness is covered defensively by 3 other mons on this team, one of them being Scizor. Next up is going to be Bugsy's Shuckle from his Black 2 and White 2 Johto Leaders Tournament, in which it's automatically set to level 50+. Now Shuckle might seem like a weird choice, but honestly is one of the most underrated Pokemon of all time in my opinion. Shuckle's got the highest defense and special defense out of all nearly 900 Pokemon, with the lone exception of Eternamax Eternatus, which I don't know if that counts, although its HP is admittedly quite poor. Shuckle is mainly used for utility and can set up for a team like this super well, in addition to tanking, flying, and fire hits. With moves like Sticky Web as a hazard move to lower the opposing team's speed, Stealth Rock, Toxic to Poison Stall, Power Split, Stab Stone Edge, Gyro Ball with great power due to Shuckle's low speed, etc., Shuckle is purely a utility asset here. The last spot is going to go to Bugsy's Yanmega from his Heart Gold and Soul Silver rematch team, in which it's at level 52. Yanmega is currently in the RU tier, and its base stats provide a very rare fast special attacking presence on this team, along with good flying coverage. Yanmega also has the speed boost ability, which increases its speed every turn, which is insanely good. With stab moves like Bug Buzz with a chance to lower the opponent's special defense, Stab Air Slash with a chance to flinch, Protect to get a free speed boost every other turn, Giga Drain for type coverage and recovery, and Hypnosis to put the opponent to sleep, Yanmega is an invaluable specially offensive presence with a lot of sweeping potential. And the final spot on Bugsy's best possible team is going to go to his Fortress from his Black 2 and White 2 Pokemon World Tournament team, in which it's automatically set to level 50+. Fortress is currently in the RU tier and provides amazing defensive synergy with Shuckle. Fortress has the absolutely necessary ability to use Rapid Spin, which gets rid of Stealth Rock, which would otherwise hurt this team really badly. With other moves like Stab Gyro Ball, Stealth Rock, or Spikes, and Explosion as a last resort, Fortress is a crucial defensive and utility core for this team. Although this is definitely Bugsy's best possible team, he does have a few other viable options that could be swapped in, and the first is actually first alternate for if you don't think Mega Beedrill should get a spot. His level 50 plus Armaldo, which helps with this team's fire weakness along with Shuckle. Otherwise, he has a level 48 Shedinja, which is outclassed by his Scizor and is kind of a gimmicky Pokemon that works best on a team that is not monotype due to its Wonder Guard ability. Next, he's got a level 55 Pinsir, which is a pretty high level, but is outclassed by his Heracross. Finally, his level 52 Vespiquen is an okay Pokemon, but is definitely outclassed by Speed Boost Yanmega, especially since this team doesn't really need another physical attacker. Well, there we go everyone, we have discovered Bugsy's true power. If you enjoyed this video and are looking forward to more from this series, please be sure to leave a like, share it on social media, and subscribe with notifications on by hitting that bell icon if you haven't already. Don't forget to comment down below with what trainer you wish to see featured next. The comment with the most likes will pick the trainer for the next week's episode and will be featured on screen. Before we go, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you enjoy my content and would like to support the channel and get some cool perks, the link to my Patreon page will be in the description below. This has been Silph Spectre, and I'll see you guys next time for some more True Power.